When I was young, I looked forward to getting older. And, there was the time when it was like, I can't wait to be 16 in order to be able to drive a car. Then there was the age of 18 to be a legal adult. Then 21, then 25. And that was when you got the discount on the insurance. And that was about it. There wasn't much left. But as you get closer to the retirement years, there's some huge opportunities here and some benchmarks that I want to talk through. Opportunities to maybe save more or give more. There's a lot of things here that I want to list out and let us talk through. So let's go ahead and jump forward to age 50. So from age 50, or the year you turn age 50 going forward, you're going to be able to put $1,000 extra into a traditional or Roth IRA. And also you could do in your 401k an additional $7,500. Now this is based on 2025 numbers here, but so for the 401k or employer plan, that's actually $31,000 instead of $23,500. That's a huge jump there. So if you're wanting to play catch up, there's going to be some opportunities for you. And then once you hit age 59 and a half, that's when you can start actually pulling the money out. Even if you are still employed, you can access dollars in your retirement plan. Now, I'm not telling you that that's the best case scenario, but it depends on what your goals are and what your financial plan says that you can do. But you can access these dollars without the early 10% withdrawal penalty. Now, be careful. There is one catch on this that probably a lot of planners aren't going to talk about and tell you. And that is, if you created a Roth IRA within the past 5 years since you've been 59 and a half. So let's just say that you did it at age 57. Well, for the growth in that Roth IRA, that's the first time you've ever created it, you have to wait 5 years. There's a 5-year clock on that Roth IRA that you do not want to mess up, or you're going to pay penalties on the growth, not the principal that you're putting in, but the growth. So that's just a little extra nugget for you on that one. Then age 60 to 63, this is a new one for 2025. Pretty exciting opportunity for people who have an employer plan. You have an additional catch-up that you're able to do. You can actually do $11,250 instead of what I just mentioned, that $7,500 catch-up, only for ages 60 to 63, and that's going to be up to $34,750 total that you can contribute to your employer plan. That does not include the company match. That is what you personally are contributing. So a huge benefit there to be able to save even more dollars if you wish to. Now then, I said 60 to 63, got to go back into the middle of those. And at 62, you could start taking Social Security. Now, I'm going to encourage you not to do that if you are still working. There's no sense in oftentimes doing that because you're taking a lesser payout. The longer you delay Social Security, the more you're going to get paid out on that. So you just want to make sure that you're taking that at the right time. Now, granted, I'm hoping that's not the case for you, but if something were to be bad, such as your health, and you're in a condition where they're telling you that there's a good possibility you don't make it to age 75, maybe you're going ahead and taking Social Security. But if you're making it and you're hoping to make it, your genetics are telling you that, hey, there's a good possibility you're going to make it till your mid-80s. Well, there's a break-even point in there, and it will be a little bit of a give or take depending, but roughly age 82 is a break-even between taking it at age 62 and age 70. But if you live to 85 or 90, well, now you're making way more money if you delayed that Social Security. So that's one to definitely think about and consider. And then the one that everybody holds off on retiring for is at age 65. And the reason for that is Medicare, because healthcare costs can really hit the wallet when it comes to the retirement years if you're not at the Medicare years yet. So just know, though, don't delay your retirement just so that you don't pay higher healthcare costs, because you're not promised tomorrow. Make sure that you have a financial plan, but I always encourage people to retire when you're ready, as long as the financial plan is there and the numbers will allow you to cover those healthcare costs that come in before the Medicare years. The window for signing up for Medicare is usually 3 months prior and 3 months after the age 65. So that's something that you're going to want to start to research, though, and look into. Find somebody who is able to sell Medicare insurance and help you with that and guide you. Be careful, though, because when I just said sell insurance, sometimes people want to sell you a lot of things that may not be necessary. So it would be good to consult with somebody who is familiar with your situation and can help you along those lines that isn't actually selling you, such as a fiduciary. Don't know of one around here. Maybe Jazz Wealth, if just a little shameless plug there, but find somebody who's going to be able to help and coach you along the way. And then once you get to age 67, then you've got full retirement age for your Social Security. You can delay it, though, up until age 70. And if you've already made it to 67, maybe you're like, hey, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and take it. Maybe it's something like what we just talked about, where your health is now not in the condition that you were hoping, and you're wanting to go ahead and get this started. At the same time, though, depending on where it falls and what works best for your financial plan, if you delay till age 70, generally from full retirement age until age 70, you're going to get an 8% increase on your Social Security each year that you delay. So that's something to consider, because that's a much higher payout that you could get at age 70 if you wish to do that. And then age 70 and a half, you have something super cool, and this is probably my favorite of all of them, and that's Qualified Charitable Distributions. If you are charitable and you are giving, let's just give you an example here and say you're giving $10,000 to your church each year. Your home is paid for. You can't itemize because the standard deduction is over $10,000. Well, guess what? You're having to pay the taxes on any dollars that you're pulling out of your IRA and then gifting to the church. Well, in this scenario, what you can do instead with a qualified charitable distribution that can only start at age 70 and a half and forward is you can actually take dollars that you're going to give and then give them as a third-party transfer directly to that organization, whether it be a church or anybody else that qualifies, a charitable organization, you're a 501c3. What you're able to do is gift it directly to them. You never receive those dollars, so it doesn't mean you get any tax write-off, but at the same time, it's not going to show as income for you, and instead, you can gift it directly to that organization. So it's going to benefit you, because you don't have to realize any tax liability on this, and it's going to benefit them possibly because maybe you factored in and you said, hey, I'm going to give a little bit less because I know I have to pay taxes on that. Well, now in this scenario, that's not the case. You don't have to pay any taxes, so hopefully it can benefit them as well. And then finally, the last one is not something that is always a crowd favorite, I guess you could say. But from age 73 to 75, this depends on when you were born, you're going to have to start taking required minimum distributions. Now, with the required minimum distributions, what that means is for any pre-tax dollars, anything you've never paid taxes on, the government wants their cut. And they're going to make you start taking that. Now, it's going to be less at age 73 or age 75 than as you progress in age. So as you progress, it's going to become a lot more. So make sure that you're aware of that, especially now if you're in your 50s and you're just starting to do financial planning, because there's some opportunity for you to potentially start putting after-tax dollars away, the Roth IRA or the Roth 401k, or doing Roth conversions to avoid as much of this as possible. If you're already in that scenario, though, and you can't do that, well, possibly you could go back to the slide prior, and as I mentioned, the Qualified Charitable Distributions. You could look at something like that to help in this scenario if you don't need all of those dollars. But those are just some basic breakdowns for you because, as I said, as we progress through life, there's not always things that we get to look forward to in certain years. But as you get older, there's some really cool things that are set up out there for you for the retirement years.